It's got £1,000 as well. So this is energy bills, I think, for 4 months if it stops on that.
Nice.
So how are your energy bills? Are you a bit worried about it all?
Major.
Yeah.
Are you?
I've got one of these prepayment meters and it's absolutely murder.
Oh, God.
Right, well, let's hope it lands on one of those then.
Whatever,
Right.
you're going to win some money, so
Here we
don't
go.
worry. Here we go.
One way or t'other. Here we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Da, 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 da. £1,000 for energy bill. £1,000 for energy bill. It is going to be... It's your energy bill!
Oh my God, thank you.
We're paying your energy bill for 4 months.
Oh, fantastic.
No worries.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you very much.
Listen.
Believe it or not, this is the reality we are now living in. It looks like something from a Black Mirror episode. At least we're not back to the Prime Minister romancing a pig episode, I suppose.
Sad.
This clip from ITV's This Morning, giving viewers the chance to win 4 months of their energy bills to be paid, has reached far and wide and has even been shown on Russian state TV as a way of showing how bad things are in the West. The fact that the energy crisis has got to this stage in the first place is frankly shocking. If you're a dad, then I suppose I'd better issue a trigger warning for this video.
Can't touch this.
With the rising energy prices, it might actually be financially viable to hire MC Hammer to shout at anyone who goes near the thermostat. Who knows? To broach the subject of the energy crisis, I'm going to be talking billions. A lot of billions. I feel the word billion is thrown around a lot now without the context of the sheer enormity of it. To get a bit of perspective for this, if you saved a £1 coin every second of the day, how long do you think it would take until you'd saved up 1 billion? A few months? Maybe a year? It would take 31 years. It's an insane value, and that's just 1 billion. The new energy plan announced by Liz Truss to try and cut the rising cost of energy is reported to cost an estimated 150 billion. Using the same £1 every second rule, that would take 4,650 years to save up 150 billion. That's more than double the cost of the furlough scheme. That is only an estimate as well, which is more likely due to be on the Conservative side. Excuse the pun. Let's not forget, for example, the test and trace budget was originally set at 22 billion, an already eye-watering number, but ended up costing somewhere in the region of 37 billion. So this new energy plan must be essential, right? With the global situation, potential shortages of supply from Russia, etc.? Well, no. I've seen various figures on the cost to renationalise the UK's main energy companies. I will say now that I own shares in Centrica, just to add some context to what I'm saying, but the latest figures on renationalisation from TUC comes in at 2.85 billion. Now, I'm not saying nationalising the energy firms will suddenly save the country 150 billion. Money will still need to be spent to help cap our bills and increase gas storage facilities. But as long as the companies are managed well, they would instantly have lower operational margins as they wouldn't have shareholders to pay out to. In 2020 and 2021, National Grid paid out 1.4 billion to its shareholders, and in 2017 paid out a whopping 3.2 billion in dividends to its shareholders. I would expect the first few years would be rough, as going from private to state owned is going to rack up some costs, but I'm pretty sure over the long run these would be ironed out through responsible reinvestment. Now, of course, with everything there's always plus sides and negative sides. If the energy companies were to be nationalised, then that would not be a quick or easy task. Shareholders would expect paying off. The business would operate in a completely different way to how they've been used to for some time now. The TUC report also states that since 2021, the UK government has spent 2.7 billion bailing out the energy firms that have already collapsed since the start of this energy crisis. The argument for not nationalising has generally been that the government isn't having to pay towards the UK energy market, but that's now gone out the window. I see quite a few problems with Liz's plan. One of the big problems I see though with this plan is the lack of foresight. The whole plan seems to be focused on our needs now rather than the needs for the future. Increasing our capability for gas storage is a good idea to help bring down costs over the long term, But if we go through a similar situation that we've been through in the last couple of years, who's to say the big firms could even afford to buy it in? The smaller firms that went bust last year did so because they were buying energy and supplying directly to the customer essentially. That meant they had to pay up-to-date prices for energy. When that price spiked, they could no longer provide that service without getting into massive debt. The customers that were supplied by these firms haven't vanished into thin air as well. They're still requiring energy, and a lot were moved onto the bigger firms as they had to be supplied by someone. So there's already an increased demand, and then with supply chains in the long term looking rocky at best, you have a perfect storm for rising prices. This is why I think the plan is short-sighted. There isn't a long-term solution in it. We've seen the hottest summer on records this year driven by climate change from burning fossil fuels. Relying heavily on fossil fuels in the future will only see this summer's records broken again in the near future. More extreme weather leads to the rising cost of commodities such as food and energy. This feels like we're entering a tailspin. For me, I would have loved to see more emphasis on renewables, or even a return of a green home scheme initiative, or more stringent building regs on new builds. The trouble with retrofitting green tech to old houses though, is that older houses in the UK generally aren't built with future-proofing in mind. I've lived in some shocking buildings before. A new boiler isn't going to offset sash windows with gaps so big you can fit a fist in. One option I did think of could be linking energy tariffs to the EPC rating of a building, so there's some incentive for the homeowner to make their home more energy efficient. The trouble I see with this though is for people who rent. They would more than likely see higher bills due to some landlords not wanting to spend money on something they won't see the benefit on. The way this scheme is going to be funded is by borrowing yet more money. As a nation, we are already borrowing at 170 billion more compared to May 2021, and with a very uncertain economic climate ahead, that amount could rise. Obviously this debt will need bringing down, which will more than likely come from increased taxation in the UK, so the real long-term savings of this are yet to be seen. Rather than saving you this money, it's just going to be a very long loan that your kids will probably end up paying off. A report from the Resolution Foundation has also stated that this new energy plan will benefit richer families far more than poorer families, who were already struggling before this surge in energy costs. With the announced national insurance cut for higher earners taken into consideration, with the combined help, richer families could see support worth £4,700 in 2023, compared to £2,200 in support for poorer families. The amount of children living in food poverty is already over 4 million. I fear this number could massively increase with the coming changes. If you are finding yourself in a good position and are able to give to those in need, then I'll leave a link below to end child food poverty. With the cold months coming, you could really help someone in need. Let me know down below what you think of the proposed plans and if you agree, or how you tackle them differently. It's always great to hear what you think. That's it for today though. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future content. Stay safe out there. Peace.